Hello, welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for being here. Today, we're going to bring you a unboxing of...
one of my favorite games ever.
Yeah.
At last, Glen More II by Funtails, and also opening up the Highlands game expansion that came out a few weeks ago.
Now, we're both fully aware of this game. We'll walk you through how it plays as we pull things out. It is one of your top 10?
It is 100%.
Of all time, and quickly rising in the ranks from me. I've absolutely adored this game as I've played it. It has a really interesting tile placement, and it's not worker placement. It's like action selection, but the way that you're going around the track and selecting what you're building into your little city or settlement is really, really neat.
It's the main draw.
So, let's go ahead and start diving into this main game.
What? Why are your nails so sharp? No, don't cut me. That is a very sharp nail. Okay. So yes.
Glen More Chronicles.
Glen More Chronicles 2.
Funtails.
Yes. In Glen More Chronicles 2, this is a follow-up to the notoriously popular Glen More. In this game, you are drafting tiles from a shifting market in a way. Essentially, everything is in a loop. And every time that you move your figure, you will move as far ahead as you want in that loop, understanding that your turn won't come back to you until you are the last person in that circle.
It's so funny because every copy I've played with has not added the appropriate stickers to the pieces.
Correct. It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot of stickers to customize your little meeples. And honestly, I don't know if I like them with or without the stickers more.
They do look great naked, so you know. I've heard. Mine are fully dressed.
Some of the things that Glen More II is going to do to change up the game is going to be this track, which is going to introduce a exploration where you can trade with other marketplaces around the map. You'll be able to place coin in order to go to these different regions and get benefits throughout the course of the game. This is going to be the main game board for Glen More. This is going to have a rotating stack of tiles, all going down a line of A, B, C, and D, getting escalating tiles and escalating resources and point scoring and everything as you go throughout the game. And a marketplace where you're going to be selling the different resources or buying the different resources that you need to build those different villages and tiles.
Which is fairly straightforward.
Yeah. Now, the way this is going to work.
That's where I was talking about those meeples. So, tiles are throughout this entire grid here. And small meeples are going to be taking some of those squares up. Anytime that you want to grab one of those squares, what you'll do is that you'll grab your meeple and you'll place it on that square itself, taking the square and leaving your meeple right there. However, you just noticed that you skipped in line, almost like, what's it called? Frog, hopscotch. There's a term for it. Like where you jump over the other people. It's a game. Yeah. Okay, well, whatever that game is, you jumped over everybody else, so that means it's not your turn again. Whoever is at the last of this grid here, of this circle, will be the next player. So in other words, if I were to be the last person here and I decide to move all the way over to the end of this board, the person that comes after me, especially when a two-player game, could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Leapfrog. It just came to mind just now. It's Leapfrog, Jesse.
Oh, yeah, that's what we were looking for.
You're playing Leapfrog.
This top row here is going to deal with the way the tiles start cycling out of the game. There's going to be 4 scoring rounds where you'll score 4 meeples on your castle, different cards that you have, barrels that you have, people that you have, and the difference between you and the lowest player around the table. This is a game about building a city, but not only building that city, but economically balancing it with everyone else that's around the game state.
You don't want to get too crazy here either.
You don't want to get too crazy. You don't want too much alcohol.
No, you want all the alcohol. What you can't have is too much landmass. There's a penalty for whoever has the biggest city out of all the players. Oh, I've never seen this side. Look at that. It's Nessie. I've never flipped this for whatever reason. I've never flipped it. Look at that.
Are the sides different?
No.
Or is one just clearly better?
Clearly better. You got a little island where you do your trade stuff. I like it.
It's adorable. Go ahead and pull, don't punch these, but go ahead and pull some of those out so we can take a look. Now,
the meat and potatoes.
Interesting. Does mine not have the stack of boxes?
Oh, no, you must make the stack of boxes.
Oh.
Yes. As the name suggests, Glen More Chronicles is
Go ahead and get this out before you start talking. That's so loud.
Multiple variations and small modules that you can add into the base game of Glen More. If you want to go straight vanilla, you can, but it offers how many Chronicles in total?
I believe it's like 8.
8 new Chronicles that you can get into, and you can purchase additional ones. Actually, speaking of that expansion that we're going to get into soon, is exactly that. It's more variability and more
The cool thing about
options.
these Chronicles is, like you were saying, they start changing the way you play by introducing new rules and mechanic systems into the game. So this is going to be your starting region for a few people, your rivers flowing down the center here, but more and most importantly, these are going to be the tiles that you're going to be drafting. You can see each one has a resource cost, what it's going to be producing, a name, some beautiful artwork, and then also some of these like standard different people or locations or places. And you're just building out. These are going to be the tiles that are around that track that you're going to be selecting, slowly paying the escalating cost, getting endgame victory points, producing resources for yourself, trading things for one good to another good, and honestly, really, really building a lovely little settlement. I love the artwork and the aesthetic and how much detail is placed into each one of these pieces.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
And then all of these are going to be the various modules. I was kind of hoping there would be in little boxes so we could talk about them. But like, here it looks like we have a landmass.
That's actually King of the Hill. There's a King of the... So all these modules completely transform the game. As you saw over in the first tile, see this river? One of the modules is that players are actually going to have a small ship that is traversing across every player's... Yes, across every player's board. And it's a race. Whoever gets to the end will get some additional victory points, etc. And you're able to kind of combine these Chronicles in different ways. There's one about making different types of alcohol in there. Let's see what else was... There's something about haggis. I never played with the haggis variant still. There's one with a loch. I think there's one with a Loch Ness monster or something similar. And then King of the Hill. All of them do different things. All the tokens comprised in between all of these punch boards also have, like for example, that's a haggis right there. You have a voting mechanic that we haven't seen.
I believe all these cards, if you want to set this over to the side, not all of these are landmarks though, Jan. A lot of these cards are also going to deal with the expansion. So, for instance, here we're going to have landmarks and locations that you can start collecting. These are going to be rivers and boats and classic little villages and scenes that you might want to have around your settlement. You don't need to get stuff out. I already showed them the...
But we will need the meeples.
They are adorable.
The people.
They're adorable. And each one's custom, if you ever noticed that.
They are. Each clan is different.
Yeah, each clan has its own. Here we're going to have our barrel houses, which is going to be one of the little modules and expansions. Here we're going to have our historical figures, which again is going to be one of the modules and expansions that you can mix in.
See, that's King of the Hill, I
Here
think,
we're going to deal with
racing.
the King of the Hill, it looks like. Possibly. Here we're going to have the boat racing, journeying down. We're going to have a few more landmarks, which again, I'm not going to mix these together because
and they have
these are going to be more
player
complex.
powers.
Yep, they'll have player powers attached to them. Here we're going to have, it looks like, different scoring objectives for people who are able to complete certain patterns or have a certain herd of cattle. And then we're going to have the haggis table, where you're going to be slowly sitting around and brunching together, my lads.
Has a chef hat. So you're definitely cooking. The first thing I did when I got Glen More was just organize everything. So I never sat down and went through each one of the Chronicles, unfortunately. So I honestly, there's so much for me to continue exploring in this one. And I can't wait to keep doing so.
It's one of the nicest things about what this game is doing, though, is it's presenting you with a lot of different ways to play and ways to reapproach the game. You start on the base game, and then every time you bring it back to the table, you open up one and another of these little boxes and modules, and they organize back very, very kindly. Now, before we swing into this little small box, we're going to need...
Okay.
I mean, it's very important.
In Glen More II Chronicles. I'm trying to do an accent. I don't know which one. I'm Irish? No, I'm going to do a horrible job at accents. In Glen More II Chronicles, each player is the clan leader of a Scottish clan from the early medieval ages until...
We're Scottish, my lad.
Scottish. Scots. No. Until the 19th century.
We're Scottish.
Looking to expand their territory and wealth, the success of your clan depends on your ability to make the right decision
The
at
Queen
the right
of England
time.
is reading this one. Lovely.
By growing barley for whiskey production, by selling your goods on the various markets, by befriending clans in the Scottish Highlands, or by gaining control of special landmarks such as lochs and castles. Does your clan leave the biggest impact on Scottish history? If you collected the most victory points, then you've made it. You win the game and your clan stands above all others. I don't know how to...
That's it. Now we're going to have the brand new expansion. One of the reasons why we're opening this up.
I have not seen this
yet. It's an absolutely beautiful game, but also because this is going to add in some more modules, some more variability, and there's a little bit of flavor text. Let me go ahead and dive into this. Die Highland Games Western Glen More II. Chronicles ver new Chronicles in Feasts and
Jesse?
Follies. Ver Radur Dorn.
Do you know how to read German?
Kuraba.
I'm assuming no.
Versuchen Splendorinnen.
No. If you read the English.
It's for our German audience.
Is it for German audiences?
We've got like 3 people there that were like, "You get it, lad."
Have you even ever had sauerkraut before?
My uncle lives in Germany.
Oh, have you visited?
I haven't yet. No, but he was a ballet. He was a professional ballet tourer for a long time.
I don't know if I should believe you.
No, he was a professional ballet tourer. It's my grandfather's brother. Moved to Germany with his boyfriend and has worked as the ballet masseuse for years for a touring company.
That's so specific that I think you actually might not be lying.
No, it's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's yes?
Yeah, his boyfriend's name is Gunter.
Oh, that's a cool name.
Right?
Use your sharp nail.
Got it.
Do the thing. Did it work? Oh my god. Wow. Circular Swiss Army man. Well played. Okay. Look, there's a little doggy.
So you haven't looked into this before.
I have not looked into this. So it has Automat Factory, Johnny Pack, and Rudiger Dorn. I'm not sure about that. Johnny Pack, awesome. And Automat Factory we've seen in other multiple titles.
We've seen specifically...
What?
Do you not know?
I don't remember.
The Automa Factory is the company that makes all the solo variants for Stonemaier games.
I knew. Okay, I knew that. I totally knew that. Okay, so I've seen nothing of this, as Jesse said. So I'm super curious. Oh, we got more stickers. All the stickers. We have an announcement for the Feed the Kraken for people that have... Oh, no, did you find more flavor text?
It is a difficult task to continuously increase the influence of the territory of your own clan, but additional prestige can be achieved, especially in Scotland, and by hosting some unforgettable festivals, well-planned celebrations with delicious whiskey, audiences with respected visitors, lavish wedding feasts, and exuberant spring festivals will help you gain prestige and the required influence with other clans. Slante Mahata!
So now that's how we're pronouncing it. Slanta Mahata.
I don't know what it means.
You almost say like Hakuna Matata.
It might be surprisingly rude.
I don't think so.
Kill the puppies. Something like that.
You think that'll be a national saying for them? Kill the puppies.
You think it's a national saying?
I think it's a popular saying, popular enough to include in the game, to represent.
You don't know that, though.
Well, you don't know that saying killing puppies either.
If you know what that means down below and how to pronounce it, please leave that in the comment section.
Please teach us. So I have 2 boards here. This is going to be, I think, the highlight of this entire expansion, which is the Highland Games expansion. It's adding new meeples, it seems, for every player. So we have people that are carrying logs. Here we have people carrying boulders. Those are the games that we're doing. It seems like you're able to add some special powers
in the different ones.
To get different types of benefits. And here we have another board, not double-sided, that is now trying to give, let's see, what is this doing? We have some whiskey barrels there, so maybe some type of production element in there. Worker placement, it seems.
Okay. We have various different people,
bagpipes,
and children. These are going to be the games that you're actually hosting, which it looks like you add into your village settlement as it goes. Some really regal buildings here, which is very cool.
And advanced technology.
It's like we're moving into the modern age and era. Some more scoring and tokens, different forts. Interesting.
This is a totally new type of token that I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, and we have a few new lochs as well. I am liking what I'm seeing so far. And look at these scurvy dogs.
Oh, that's from Feed the Kraken too, I think.
Oh, you might be right.
Yeah, I think I've definitely seen that character before.
You might be right. There's a chance we have pirate ships arriving. Okay, what else do we have in here?
New types of Chronicle boxes.
New types of Chronicle boxes. Beautiful storage, like always, like normal. Looks like...
Whoa! Chips? Ooh! Right. I got some! I caught some. Ooh, these are nice. I like. I wonder what they're for, though.
Tiny little markers.
Oh, so that's for the legacy board.
Patented bags of bags.
Oh, patented meeples.
Well, what are they?
These are the new meeples. Look, these are the new meeples. Check them out. Let's look at. So we got a log meeple. It looks like he's batting. It looks like he's going up to bat. So we got the batting meeple, and then we have the boulder meeple. And you also have clothes for those meeple, or you can just leave them in their glorious naked, presence there.
I'll dress half of them.
Half naked and half dressed. So shirts on and shirts off. basically.
Well, the ones that are dressed will shame the ones that aren't.
Oh, okay. Which is what happens usually.
And then every time you play, you dress one more of them.
So that's a Chronicle portion.
Yeah.
Excellent, yeah.
So, you're absolutely right. Feed the Kraken is advertised here.
This is new.
The Quiz Club.
Oh, is this the next one coming from Fun Tales?
Another project. Feed the Kraken is going to have some promo cards in here, like you were saying. Really, really great social deduction game.
Super fun.
And here we have...
Just some more beautiful artwork.
Different Highland games, different artwork.
That little banner represents a module in which you're playing as well. They change it from the lower left, lower right to the upper right.
To make it a little easier to sort and identify. Here we have, the different constructions that you can do.
Oh, so that's what that's doing. Interesting.
Nice. Fort George. Yeah, these are going to be the different regions and locations. These are a little bit higher end items. These are going to be the automata cards, which is kind of neat. I don't know that I've ever considered playing the game with an automata, but I'm
Well, remember, when you play with 2 to 3 players...
You always have a fake one in, but that's not really an automata. It's like a functioning...
It's just to keep things cycling.
Ectoplasm.
Okay, yes, it's ectoplasm.
And then we have a few more of these historical cards here.
Oh, look at that. Okay. And by the way, the automata can play in the Highland games as well.
Cool. So, that's going to be Glen More. Let's, at the end of this unboxing video, let the people know your favorite and least favorite thing about this game.
Wait, there's a thing I don't like about it?
Sure. So, my favorite thing about Glen More II...
The market.
...is going to have to do with building out my settlement. I really like the production and the resources and the way you're slowly building this village. And it's not just about getting everything or always linking things that match together. Instead, it has to do with how you're moving your meeples and where you can construct and how you can expand. There's a really interesting puzzle when it comes to the tile laying and tile placement that this game does, I think, differently than any other game I've seen, because it isn't controlled specifically. Other than the lakes and rivers, it is not controlled by the tile itself. It's controlled by what you've planned, what you've conditioned your village for. Outside of that, the thing I like the least is probably going to be the way that you have to balance every aspect of the game in order to be competitive for the victory points. Now, I'm not 100% sure that if that's the case, but the last time I played, I went hardcore liquor, and the game was stolen from me. I had the most drunk village, but I didn't win, which to me seems like a fault of any game.
So it's counterproductive to a standard Euro, where Euro you're specializing. Here you have to diversify.
It really encourages you to be balanced, and I haven't figured out a good puzzle to break that yet. And so for me, I like pressing buttons and breaking things and I'm going only with cows this time, and the game doesn't reward you for that, which isn't really a criticism of the game. It's a criticism of the way I approach games. Most Euros that I play, I enjoy finding a puzzle piece that I can just knock out and shock people when I get to the end. Glen More II, because the way it scores at the top of every single round, unless you're driving endgame yourself and really maximizing the difference between you and other players, which for me, I don't really pay attention to what other players are doing enough yet in the game. For me, it doesn't feel like I can really change my strategy. I have to adapt my strategy, but I always have to be a little bit balanced based on what the table is doing and not what I think's fun to do.
Okay. For me, it has to be the market. I know it's kind of cliche at this point.
Thing?
Yeah, favorite thing is the market. I believe that the original Glen More was one of the pioneer games that brought up that rondelle system of action selection that we've seen in Merv as well and in other titles. It's brilliant the way that it works. In the context of this game is just perfect. The way that you have all the options available to you, but then you have the dread of somebody skipping over you 100 times over. But could be an interesting strategy to kind of force someone to grab a lot of tiles.
It's interesting.
Right? That I haven't thought of before. So it adds a lot of nuance in the way that you're moving.
I'd like to play a game where I take 2 tiles every round.
Exactly.
Something weird like that.
And that would completely change the panorama, because at the end of the game, you get a huge penalty if you have a lot over everybody else. And I would say that the thing that I like the least, and it's a reason actually why I'm such a big fan of the Chronicles system, is that this is very much multiplayer solitaire. You know, what you do doesn't affect me at all.
For scoring, it does.
For scoring, yes.
But
and that's an interesting point. Yeah. So I'm not necessarily paying attention to the minutia of what you're doing, just from afar, kind of like telling and comparing numbers a little bit. I always want to be a little bit above you, but I do think that there's no direct way of interacting with each other. And when I played the boat expansion, which is the one that you have a little bow that's going through, that's when I started having a little bit more fun. Because I was in your city. I was trying to see, he has 5 lake tiles, but they only have 3. So if I rush the city, the boat right now, I might be able to get to the finish line. But oh my god, they just added another tile, so maybe I have to rethink. And that was, I didn't think I would need it for Glen More because I do enjoy the multiplayer solitaire that this brings to the table. But once I saw that, once my eyes were open,
you didn't want to go back.
I didn't want to go back. So that's one of those Chronicles that I think I would always want to play with. And probably also tied to those Chronicles, although the variability is there, there's so much game in the core box that I don't ever know when I'm going to get to those Chronicles. I'm not sure if that's a negative at all. It's just, it's like, it sometimes it feels a little bit overwhelming. Yeah. Like all the stuff.
I hear.
But that's, again, this is one of my favorite ever. So.
There you have it. We have unboxed this game. And you asked for it. We've given you what you wanted. Aren't you satisfied?
The Queen decrees.
The Queen has decreed.
Yes.
And with her holy might, she shall venture into your realm upon the stern of a boat.
Yes.
Eating haggis from her left hand and holding a scepter in her right hand.
Yes.
Crowning you the victor of the carrots.
No, I'm the victor. I'm the Queen!
The Queen's the victor.
Yes,
so
always!
It has been declared.
Yes!
It shall be declared from here unto the 4th night of the 3rd season of March. The Queen will be the victor until the end of the spring.
And the Queen decrees that this video is over. Thank you for watching.
The Queen
Remember, whatever you do,
this video
to
is
do the important thing.
To an end, and we'll hear her final words
Get out
up now.
and play some games.
Thus has
see you guys next time.
Queen declared.
Silence! Off with his head!
Be quiet. So hath declared the Queen,